Hey guys, it's Best. You can remember me from Crafting It Out with Best here on Hello Media. It's another episode of Keeping It Real with Samuel Leon, still here on Hello Media. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you.
Hey, welcome to Keeping It Real with Samuel Lion. I'm so excited to have this episode on here, a solo episode. This podcast is all about being real and keeping it real. Um, so for the past two episodes before the last episode we posted all year on the YouTube. Our co-host. So we've been trying. So we shot that podcast last year, a couple of weeks back. Like looking from that from January now, looking a couple of weeks back into December. So we had that chopped up. We had that cut out, and we wanted to make a great podcast for the audience that we could do, and I did everything possible. So to keep it real, we lost I lost the files to complete that conversation. And I couldn't help but, be pissed and angry about how everything turned out and how I wasn't able to get things done. And I loved every single bit of the pain I felt. I've never said that out loud, but I love that I hated it so much. And I'm like, I never want that to be the case anymore. I really did get so pissed about the whole situation. And I was personally pushing them like, how can I get this done? How can I not fuck this up again? And I was so pumped, and I obviously I reached out to B Song. Shout out to the co-host here, B Song, everything. I'm like, so how could we get this done? And we talked about ways to get it done, and I know for sure we know for sure that was gonna be a fight, and I'm fighting so much to keep this going on. So I can say that I would be working on getting the two-man team back together, and we getting the episode on. And please, if you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you're listening to us on all audio platforms and go Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, wherever you're listening to us from, thank you so very much for all the support. Keeping it real has been one of the best, you know, content, yeah, on Hello Media, and I'm so elated to be the one to bring that on here. And I love the fact that um I'm not letting the numbers bother me. It's more of like, okay, what can we do? How can we push more on it? How can we bring the A game in? And I'm promising that B Song would be back on here on the podcast. But I want to get this solo episode in, and I sort of were like, what is the thing I'm gonna really talk about? How am I gonna get across? Because obviously we had a plan for this episode, and now the two-man team is not possible. What do? We have to pivot, and it's so crazy because pivoting has been one of the things that I've solely had to rely on this past year. And this 365 days has been the craziest for me as a human being. Like, forget about Samuel Lion. The Samuel, if you remember, like the man behind the character Samuel Lion, like I went through the ringer, and I can't wait to go in on most of them on the podcast when B Song is around doing his thing. But I thought the thing that came to mind when I was like, oh shit, okay, so Bisong might not be around, or it's not available now. What do you do? And I'm like, the goal for my year is the theory for my year is one day at a time, is Operation One Day. I call it the one day theory. Like I just want to get through the day. Right now, just a couple of hours ago, I came back from a 9 hour shift. Yes, a 9 hour shift at a food business. And I'm like, my body's beat up. And you would know this when the video before you would see this. I just finished recording sit down interview, a terrible, crazy sit down interview with a digital content creator, a content creator nonetheless in best. And we had that session, had to cut my hair. I mean, shout out to Snazzy. He did a thing. I mean, come on, looking sharp as always. Not as always, because I've looked like crap this past year. But like, I've had to go through it this year, and it's been one of those ones that for me, I'm like, why am I fighting? I just checked out the episode 2 of Keeping It Real with Samuel Lyon. If you Keeping It Real episode 2, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. And it was like the loss of purpose. And it felt like I really did lose that. Like I did not know the feeling. It was what I did, like I lost that. And I'm like, I forgot who I was. I forgot what brought me to the dance. I forgot what even made me who I was. And it was so painful. It was so crazy going through all of that. And I had a whole lot of fighting to do, a lot of fighting to do to get to where I am sitting right here doing this in the craziest hour of the night, because I have a 9 hour shift ahead of me, and I'm like, I want to do this, and I need to chop this up, I need to chop other videos up, I need to do this because I promised myself that I'm gonna grind this year. And I'm not doing this because, because I like the best thing to do is to go and sleep off and get ready for the 9 hour shift. But I'm like, I've done that all my life where like I'm not betting on myself. This, me sitting here right now doing this, is betting on myself. This is me just fighting on, just keeping fighting, or just keeping on fighting. This is me doing that. And I can't wait to talk about the part that I'm skipping to get to this. But like right now, and I would love to share this, and I will share this on the next episode, God willing, when we finally get to shoot with B Song. And throughout the course of the week, the message kept playing in my head, the sermon that I listened to, and I literally didn't know that it was 2 years ago. The sermon, "The Village People" by Pastor Keon Anderson, and the pastor of the senior pastor of the Lighthouse Church, Houston, Texas. And I'm like, my God, that message kept in my head. Pastor Houston, Pastor Keon Anderson, the village people. And I'm like, all right, so if you listen to that, my my fucking ring just got off my hand. And that message spoke a lot to me personally. And I'm like, I need to listen to that again. I wrote that down in my journal, and I'm like, I don't want to just go into that. I want to re-listen to that message. And it spoke to me so much when I listened to it, and I loved every single bit of it. The whole idea of um a blind man in the village meeting Jesus and wanting Jesus. I'm not This is not a spiritual podcast, but nonetheless, but this is me trying to tell you what resonated with me in me keeping on fighting. And he took the man out of the village to go perform the miracle. Performed the miracle on the man. By the way, he performed the did the spit on the man, and like, what do you like, try to hit the man, and the man says he sees trees. And he did perform the process again, and this time around the man actually regained his sight. And he warned him not to go back to the village. The man was a member of the village, right? He needed healing in the village. But Jesus took him out of the village to go perform the miracle on him outside of the village. And the after the healing, he warned him not to go back to the village. Crazy. That had to be like the craziest thing. And I'm like, you wonder, like, why would he do that? Because I looked into it, I'm like, because sometimes we are our own problem. Sometimes the environment that we are in is the problem. And sometimes it takes somebody to take us out of that state, to let us turn back and look at it and be like, see for yourself. I'm telling you this, don't, like, it's crazy. And it's what happens when everybody enters the new year. I'm like, new year, new me, right? Because you look at your previous and like, what did I do? And my years had good and bad. It had its ups and downs. It had its good, bad, and ugly. But like, if I'm gonna be as real as I can get, it was a fucked up year. It was a terrible year. The ratings for my year would be less than two. Like, it was whack. And I obviously, I'll blame myself. I'm like, oh, okay, I did not get to do this and all of that. Like, I dropped on me so much. And I'm like, this year I'm gonna try as much to put a focus on back on me. Not in a way that says that I'm braggadocious or in a way that says it's coming off prideful, but in a way that says I understand that for me to show up the best I can be, I need to take care of me. Not in a braggadocious or a prideful way, I repeat, but in a way that says self-care might be what I need. And I'm not saying this because I think I've got it all together. Nobody gets it all together. Anybody that gets it all together, good for them. But I know I don't get it all together. This does not prove that, oh, this will be the way out and all of that. But it's a way that says, if this is what I need to do, then I'm going to operate one day at a fucking time. And I'm going to do it because it's the thing I need to do. And it's as crazy as doing 20 push ups a day. I told my Baba to them, like, oh, I'm doing 20 push-ups right now. Like, I'm constantly doing that. Even at work, I get to do that. Even when, oh, the day's always going and I'm not done. I've not done the push-ups for the day. And I try to wing that in. And I try to give myself grace when I don't get to do it any day. And I'm like, okay, so maybe the next day I can add to it. I'm like, okay, so do make up for what you lost yesterday. And I give myself grace on that. And he said, 20 is pretty low. And I'm like, yes, I know in your books it is, but you're talking to somebody that has not, you know, literally done this. You understand? Like, this is someone that hasn't, that did not get to do this. And I didn't even do at some point up to like in last year, like I did not even do up to like 10 push-ups. Like, I could not make up to like also the ending of last year, like, I could not do up to 10 push-ups, a day. That's crazy, right? But like, and I'm at 20. What that means is I could push higher, right? So it was a crazy experience doing that. And I'm like, I keep putting in the work and trying to get in there. And not to drift away from the message, and another part of that message he did said was that opinion does not equate knowledge. When he said that part, and I'm like, it's crazy because we live in a world today where opinion is seen as facts. And sometimes some people get their facts together and but put it in a way of opinionated ag. But it really did make a mark on me, prove a mark on me, because I personally was like, oh, I rather would, um have a coming to myself moment of like, okay, how do you think this moment got to you? How do you think this situation that this person did got to you? How do you think, how do you navigate the situation you were in this particular moment? And like, how are you taking opinions? And in as much, this is not me saying that I'm saying, oh, nobody's opinion matter and nobody opinion matter to me. I don't care about what other people say. No, I'm not saying that. It's just a way of me saying I'm not gonna let that be the be all end all for me. It will be me of like, okay, right, you might have your own opinions about me or might have opinion about a certain situation, but that does not mean that you have the full scope, the full knowledge, or the full idea of the entire situation. Like, at the end of the day, my side still needs to be heard. And I'm like, it's a year where like I feel like, oh, my story mattered too, I matter too. And the village people, you can go check it out on YouTube from 2 years ago, like, incredible message. And him saying you should identify your village. We get to hear this every time. And it's also crazy, like, you're like, oh, it takes a village to raise a child. But if a crazy ass, a not so smart, a not so put together village people raise a child, what do you think that child is gonna turn out to be? Now that was the part I was like, hmm, that says a whole lot about the whole thing. And then another part of the when he says sometimes everywhere they want you ends where you ought to be. That shit spoke to me. Like that was personal for me because I'm like, that's it. That's it. He said, don't let struggle make you turn around. And I'm like, it's crazy for me because like I've had situations in the past year where like I really, 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 really was like I could do with a miracle right now. Like I could just do with a little sign. But sometimes God would not come and get it done for you and all that. Like he will not send you signs and everything. Sometimes it just happen and you're like, oh, this was it. And I've had that moment this past year and all. And if there's anything I wanted like this solo episode to do was just to remind anybody out there talking to you directly into the camera that you matter, I matter, just keep fighting. I don't know what that is for you. I don't know what that looks like for you, but you just have to find your space, identify your village, find how you can recalibrate. What do you do when you don't have it all together? What do you do when you are fucking depressed? What do you do when you feel like you can keep going? Like how do you handle those moments? And everybody know that I love podcasting. I love, podcasting, obviously audio, video, or like consume it. You see me with my notes. I'm always taking down, like I try to have a moment for myself where I'm catching up and doing all of this. It's been crazy. And I just feel like you should just find what, like you find you in all of the chaos, all of the craziness. And I watched one of Lauren Dorosa's segments on the Breakfast Club, and there was this funny crazy bit where Charlamagne the God was checking AI to check what would he advise. Oh, sorry, what would Jay Z advise? Called Lauren DeRosa, because Lauren was saying she would take this crazy scenario theory. They say, oh, we rather take $500,000, or you would take a dinner with Jay-Z to get an advice on how to do it. And she would literally take the dinner with Jay-Z because I mean, that's networking at its highest order and love that. And then Shalabata got checked and AI to say, okay, oh, what do you think Jay-Z would tell Lauren in this case? And although it was a funny bit, but like this, I wrote it down because I was like, oh shit, this shit speaks to me so well. And that part says, attention is rented, ownership is permanent. Don't don't confuse people knowing your name with people needing your voice. Scarcity creates value. Your access cheapens it. And I'm like, if it's crazy, if what you build only benefits you, no, no, look at this is another part. So like attention is rented. Like, and that's true. This past year I've had most things have had most of my attention. Some things have had some of my attention, some have had lesser. But like if you're able to get my attention, that means you've rented me for that particular moment or that particular time or that particular phase or that particular season or that particular month or that particular year. It's as crazy as that. So ownership is permanent. At the end of the day, you still have to have a comment to yourself when you're like, oh shit, like I need to look inward. I need to like see what works for me. Like how do I feel when like all of this gets to me and all of that. Like don't confuse people knowing your name with people needing your voice. Like I've had that moment too. I'm like, oh, I've been trying to do this, I don't know why. Oh, people thinking, oh, something like, but like, why you not putting me in the right spot to win? Why are you not calling me for gigs? Why you not like I had all of those crazy moments, right? But at the end of the day, it's one of those things you look at and you're like, whoa, what is definitely going on here? It's a crazy experience, it's a mad season and all of that. And I'm like, I do appreciate the whole scenario and how the craziness has been going bonkers and all. And scarcity creates value. Over access cheapens it. So I'm like, this is definitely not what I would have expected in that segment, but like it spoke to me and I wrote it down and I'm like, I think I need to re-up on my value, reevaluate it, and restock on it. Put my restock, do inventory and restock on it, and understand where to be scarce, where to provide scarcity. Because people sometimes the government to provide scarcity. Where do I provide scarcity, and you know, um, where do I yes, where do I provide scarcity, and where do I invest value, if you catch my drift. So at the end of the day, just keep fighting. Anyhow that is for you, whatever that looks like for you. The goal year in 2026, in the beginning of this year, is to just keep fighting. And that's it. Like nothing else I can say right now in this video that would cut it out, that would cut it for you or anything. The goal remains one day at a time, just keep fighting. Thank you so much. I remain Samuel Lion, and this was Keeping It Real, episode 4. Thank you so very much. And I hope to see you on the brighter side. And hopefully, if this video speaks to you, you can like, share, comment, sound about comment section, the fight you are on, what level you feel you are on, and how you are pushing it. Thank you once again.